Go ahead.
Okay, Ms. Lisa, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Village of Lincoln Heights Safety Committee meeting, Monday, July the 20th, 2020 at 5:33. Virtual Zoom meeting is officially called to order. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Present.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber. No response from Councilwoman Baber. We have two who are present. We do have a quorum.
Okay, Vice Mayor, would you like to do the prayer today?
Sure. Father God, we thank you. We thank you for allowing us to rise up this morning, Father God. We thank you for giving us a restful, peaceful sleep last night, Father God. We like to ask that you watch over the folks that are here in the village of Lincoln Heights. Watch over those that are working here, Father God. Those that are living here, Father God. And those that are just passing through. Watch over them, Father God, and make sure that we can stay safe and healthy. We ask these things, Father God, in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Powerful, powerful. Okay, acceptance of the minutes of June 15th.
I motion that we accept the minutes from June 15th with any needed corrections.
Second, it has been moved in second to accept the June 15, 2020 minutes with corrections. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Okay, the motion passed. I didn't have any questions. Did you have any questions, Vice Mayor?
I did not.
Okay, is there any old business? Any old business that you want to bring up?
I don't think I have anything old.
Okay. New business, the monthly fire report. Amos is not on here. As of now, we do have some others who have joined us. I see that Councilman Daniels and also Jamal Willis and Ms. Donna Pope joined us. Make sure you include them in your report. Okay, in close, you will find the fire report. And if Amos come on, he can explain those things that he want us to focus on. So if not, look at the report and he can make a verbal report at the council meeting, or Donna Pope can. Any questions about the fire report? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I would like, if he does come on, if he could tell us how we're doing with our COVID-19 cases.
Okay. Okay, I understand that they had increased. I think we got a report on that piece that said that the numbers have gone up some. Okay, police report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Lieutenant Bowen here. Looks like in the month of June, we had 251 calls for service, just an increase of 6. And since March, since I've taken over, that's total was 958. We had 2 cases assigned to our detectives during this time, and we took a total of 24 reports. 16 of them were criminal in nature, and the rest were non-criminal ones like squad runs and stuff like that. The village had no accident reports in the village. We assisted Evendale out on the highway on 2 of them. Looks like we cited 2 people to mayor's court and 7 downtown. The officers on the streets conducted 24 traffic stops in the village during the month of June. Looks like we had 3 of the reported concerns. Emails came my way. 2 of the complaints were parking violations. And I've talked to Donna Pope about the issues on Leggett, and we're moving forward on that. The other parking complaint, Leggett near Prairie. I'd like to report that both gentlemen at the top of the street are working very well with us, and I have not observed any violations when I go by in the mornings or evening.
Me either.
Vice Mayor, what?
I agree. I haven't seen anything.
I know there's some cars parked on Prairie, but unfortunately they're in the village of Woodlawn. So
Mhm.
I will reach out to them and see if we can maybe get that trailer moved. It gets a little bit of a concern when two cars are trying to pass each other. The third complaint involved some noise complaint down on Adams. I spoke with the caller. She called, reported it probably a little after midnight. The officer responded. There was a group of probably age 13 to 30. They were just sitting out. Obviously, when you're out late at night, sound travels. He talked to them, he advised them, and I told her that if the issues continue, just give us a call back and the officers will disperse them. I realize it's hot out. Some people might not have air conditioning or something, or they're just hanging out. But they were very respectful and accepted the officer coming up and talking to them.
Officer Keith,
Yes, ma'am.
what time was that?
A little after midnight. They were actually.
For that 13-year-old or those teenagers, they should have been in the house. There's a curfew. There's a curfew.
Yes, but they were they're adults, so it's kind of a gray area right there.
Mhm.
During the month of June, it looks like we assisted at the food pantry and also down at the health clinic for the COVID situation, making sure all the traffic flowed in and out okay. We did assist Elmwood in a shooting down in their bailiwick. They went down and helped down there. Looks like up on Adams, looks like someone fired 3 rounds in the air, and we made an arrest up there on that one for a gentleman having weapons under disability.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. There was obviously that we had the homicide investigation that's still going on from Shepherd. No update on that. So hopefully they'll make an arrest in that shortly. I talked about the parking concerns. I like to address the ones on Leggett. Me and Miss Pope have talked about this. I actually drove Leggett the other night or the other morning. And my suggestion was for the maintenance department, maybe to put some signs up on the west side of Leggett. I got the resolution. Everything's intact, but there are no signs on the west side of the street, primarily just on the east side. So once we do that, yes, ma'am.
Keith, there are no signs up there because they took them down. And they have a bad habit of removing those signs and throwing them over in a ditch somewhere. And eventually maintenance will find them when they're out working on some property.
Okay.
So yeah, we just need to replace them, but also there's some around the curb. I believe you painted yellow or
Because they kept taking the sign down.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's no parking there unless we need to paint again.
Okay. If council would like to paint it, obviously you can't remove the paint. And actually, I'd like to see obviously when they have time, if we can maybe repaint the ones up by Prairie and Leggett. On Leggett, they're getting a little worn out. I'm not sure how long ago that was accomplished.
Couple of years. Okay.
I know the resolution was passed in like 2015, so if it's original, it's done pretty well. Then on July 7th, with the uptick in COVID, we went back to half reporting. We're calling instead of going to houses, jeopardizing the residents of Lincoln Heights and the officers, we're now making phone calls, logging out non-serious squad runs. Obviously, if the Woodlawn Fire Department needs our assistance, we'll be there. This is just really, and the officers are wearing masks when necessary. So besides that, I think we're doing pretty good. We did have a slight little incident downtown where we responded down there, but it never affected the manpower in the village.
Okay, so when you said you sent some tickets down to Hamilton County, I guess you
Yes,
sent.
we sent 7 of them.
What were they ticketed for?
I just get the report. I don't actually physically get them tickets, but I can look them up. Normally, they're the ones that accompany another charge.
Okay.
So that, but the guys on the streets are knowing that if it's one that can be cited at the mayor's court, they're citing the mayor's court. And obviously we're not seeing a lot right now because of COVID the last couple of months, but and hopefully that, the COVID here will eventually trend downward so we all can get back to some normalcy. But I know we're hitting the parking violators with orange stickers. You're going to see that a lot in the village. Actually, I think we hit one again today. And then the residents across from the art corner, that residence was always a source of complaints, people hanging out in the yard. That property has since been bought by a realtor, a local realtor. He's going to rehab it, rent it out. He's going to work with us to put up some no trespassing signs. We removed a couple of bricks that they were sitting on. So that should cut down a little bit of traffic in the area of the art corner. Well, really the congregating across the street, stuff that the owner of the art corner can't really control, but we can, and we've been paying attention to that.
Mhm.
So Officer Keith, have you received any complaints recently from Mr. Butts?
I get my weekly email from Mr. Butts, and I actually stopped by the other morning. He was out picking up a couple pieces of litter in the neighborhood. And I asked Jamal and the maintenance crew to go down and empty that can that you guys supplied there. It was overflowing that time. They jumped right on that, so that should help out. Mr. Butts is he realizes that the property's been sold, and it's really just taking time to get the new owner he wants to completely rehab it. So he's got some work to do, I'm sure. And he's already fixed the front door that was hanging loose. He's removed 2 cars from the yard. He's got 1 more to go. So in my eyes, he's helping us out just as much as he's helping himself out. So hopefully this keeps going in the right direction.
Noticed that.
Okay, I do have a complaint about Jackson Street up just as you pass the new Habitat housing. Seems to be a lot of activity going on there. They are running a street side mechanic shop, I guess. I saw a lot of people out there last Thursday doing their thing. It was a lot of traffic right there just as you pass where the Habitat houses stop.
Okay.
In that block.
Okay, I'll let the guys know about increased traffic, and we'll see if we can give an increased patrol in that area. And also last Friday, I noticed there's a couple of gentlemen riding around the village on their
4-wheelers
Yep. And
spinning out in the road. I seen
Yep.
that.
and I actually, when I mentioned it to the officers, the one actually shot me an email and said that he's already addressed it with 2 of them. And he's already given them warnings that if he catches them out on the street again, he's going to tow the vehicles. And if he tows them, it's going to be hard for them to get them out of impound because them are usually not registered vehicles. And that's, in order to get it from us, you need to have proof that you own it. So I think that one kind of made them pique their interest a little bit to keep them off the road. I'm not going to say it's going to completely shut it down, but obviously we got to weigh our options. If they take off from us, we're not going to jeopardize the safety of the gentleman driving it or the safety of residents who could be in the area. So we just got to weigh little pros and cons on, but I think the guys will do a good job and they'll hopefully get it down.
Okay.
I had something.
I did. Mr. Daniels is now on, and I see that he wants to ask a question, but also want to say that I did see an automobile tag. I think it was on Douglas, can't remember, on that same day that I was riding through the neighborhood. So I did see that. To Miss Lisa, would you please add Miss Baber? I see that she's on now, and Mr. Daniels, you have a question? Yes.
I did.
I think Miss Jeannie wanted to go first, and if you don't mind, can I go out for Miss Jeannie? Is that okay?
Yeah, I wrote mine down so I could remember. I wanted to ask Officer Boyne if he had addressed the gambling, the young men that have been shooting dice over there in Centennial.
Yes. So I talked to sent the officers an email, and one of them actually reached out to the property manager who has very good cameras in the area. because I noticed that one morning on my drive around the village, which I routinely do in the mornings, afternoon, and before I leave, saw a lot of garbage, Wendy's bags and that, and you could tell. So Officer Greg Burke actually drove by, talked to all the kids, talked to some of the parents
Mhm.
or older residents. I mean, I can't say they're all parents of the kids out there. And they're doing increased patrol. It seems to be working, and the residents are more than happy to see the increased patrol. And we actually have cards that'll get us into the buildings. The property manager supplied them with me. So that's a plus right there. He's working with us. If we ever need access to anything on the property, he's more than willing to assist us as needed.
Okay. Ms. Charles Jeters, I know it's one question. I have a complaint and then I have a compliment. So I'll let Durance go in and then I'll go next. Because I want to make sure that I leave on a positive note.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Miss Lisa, would you also add the mayor? She's in the meeting now. Okay, Mrs. Daniels.
Yeah, just quick question. I know you had mentioned about potential towing of the four-wheelers, but just on the towing conversation, just would that same type of process also include with any type of cars that may need to be towed throughout the village?
What we do is if we sticker a car for abandoned vehicles, then it's usually a vehicle that's inoperable or it's not registered. We do try to work with them. We stickered one car on a Thursday, and the owner of the vehicle must have got word from somebody in the neighborhood, and they actually called us and said, "Can you please give me a day or two? I'm not in town." And sure enough, within 2 days, she had it removed. So the sticker seemed to wake a lot of people up. Hey, they're not messing around anymore. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
But if a car, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Please continue.
with COVID and that, the guys are concentrating on a lot of the abandoned vehicles on the streets, and hopefully it makes a little bit of a difference.
If a car was to get towed, just where does the car go? And then you said we have to prove ownership, right? I was also just curious, and this might not even be the right place to ask this question, Ms. Linda, but is there also a process where they would have to show that they paid the ticket as well? Just for example, let's say if we put the sticker on there, they didn't move. We put a ticket on there, they didn't move. It finally got towed. Where's the car towed to? And do they also have to show that they paid the ticket in order to get the car out?
So in our process is sometimes we'll just tow it as abandoned. And obviously we're not sure who the owner is, so we're not going to put a ticket on a car that we can't prove who owns it. That wouldn't be very, I can't say who owns it, and I don't want to give, maybe it was sold twice over and we don't want to ticket someone who got rid of it a couple years ago.
Makes sense.
To me, that's just common sense. So our property office keeps track of all of our cars we towed. If someone would come up to the PD, we'd tell them that it's where it's towed to and the procedure to get it out. And usually that procedure is that it has to be a licensed driver, licensed vehicle, and show proof of ownership and proof of insurance. So it's not something we try to do very often. Normally the stickers work. If the stickers are working, I'm more than happy to keep that. I'd rather get someone to get their car off the street.
Agreed.
Valid. I'm not into this heavy-handed, because the only thing, writing a ticket, what does it do? It takes a couple dollars out of your pocket, then you got to pay the tow bill, and it becomes astronomical.
Okay.
So that's our goal.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Miss.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Chair.
I'll come back to you in a minute, Ms. Vice Mayor. Ms. Baber, do you have anything that you want to say?
No, not at this time, but good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
Mitchell?
Okay, I had a resident that had called me and I had wrote down the date, the officer's name, everything, but I forgot it. Well, I'm not gonna get up to go try to find it. It was she was upset because he cussed at her. He told her to shut the hell up. He yelled at her. And she was with the victim. And I just want to, I told her that I would mention it. That with it being hot out, if you do have to take a call or something, everybody hot and aggravated, let's just try to get through it the best we can. And then I want to leave with a compliment. I want to compliment because I have been riding through, and I have noticed the cleanup on Legged Up at the top. I did notice that because for like a week I was seeing the guys out gambling, and I did say something to a couple of them, just talking to them because I knew them from having them, and I did notice that stopped. And I have noticed a different presence with the sheriff. I have noticed a slight change with the sheriff and seeing them more even coming down my street. And that's the compliment that I wanted to leave with. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you see a black Ford Taurus, that's me driving around.
Okay.
It's not marked.
Okay, Mayor, do you have
Everybody
anything you want to
knows now.
say?
Good afternoon, everybody. I did want to ask about the last time I think we talked about the speed bumps, and I guess the monitor that has the rate of speed. Have we talked about when you may want to put that on throughout the village or in Dixie or other speeding areas?
So I personally have hit Dixie quite often in the mornings and in the afternoons, cutting through, especially going past Oak Park. Is there a good time of day on Dixie? I'm just not seeing a lot of vehicle traffic on Dixie. Obviously,
Vice Mayor, they speed from probably from her house all the way to when you're about to turn on Terry Court. I would say maybe on the weekend. What you think, Vice Mayor?
I say even during the weekday, because there's a white truck that rides down every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the amount of cars to come down the street, is how fast they come down the street. So even if it was only 3 cars, if one is doing 100 miles per hour, that's a problem.
Okay.
So it's the speed, because they don't have potholes on this street. And we got kids that ride bicycles. That's my concern.
okay. I will take a look at what place we can park that trailer on and
In front of my house, I don't care.
you don't, okay. I know where you live, so I will get it set up.
Okay.
Officer Keith, you might want to move it around from time to time on Adams Street and the other areas that are having similar problems, especially with it being so warm outside and automobiles are riding up and down and they're playing their music loud. So, so move it around.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Anyone else? I see Ms. Mitchell has joined us. She has the wrong first name, but the right last name. So Ms. Mitchell, do you have anything?
All right.
Okay. All right. So we'll move along to the miscellaneous. We probably have covered miscellaneous by now. Miscellaneous. Okay, to Mr. Pope. I too have been riding around from time to time looking to see what's going on in the village. The house down on Bill Street needs to have tape or something around it. That's so dangerous. And are we doing anything about trying to get that taken care of? Your mic is on. Off. There you go.
Yes, we are. Me and Mr. Willis, we're trying to get some of the reports necessary to get that building condemned. If it's the house that's crushed in, well, we can put some tape around it, because I think it's about 10 steps that we have to make sure that are done, like he's not living there, gas, electric, and utilities and condemnation reports. So we have to make sure all of that is done before we can proceed with getting that torn down.
So the Board of Health can't come out and look at that?
Yes, they can. They already did, and we're just trying to get this condemnation report. We may have to request a new one, because he said he did one, but we can't locate it. So we might just have to request a new one in order to get that building done.
Something needs to be done. That is
Right.
that is a danger. Okay. Are there any announcements? Yes, Mayor.
School will be starting in less than a month So I think that this is a great opportunity to have those slow down signs and everything, because school will be starting in less than a month. And is there any way that we could put those, what the sheriff's going to do for COVID-19 on our website, like the certain calls, so nobody's alarmed when they get a phone call back from the sheriff taking a report over the telephone because of COVID-19? Is there any way we could put that for, so the residents know and we don't get calls?
Yes, we can put that up.
Okay.
Just give me the information how you want me to put it up, and I'll send it over to Mr. Thornhill, and we'll have it put up as soon as possible.
Can you do
So-
that?
Go ahead.
I was asking Officer Keith if he could do that.
Yeah,
It's just a
Tom.
couple of things that, you know what I'm saying? If you have a car accident, blah, blah, blah.
I will email Donna tomorrow and give her all
Okay.
the information to put on your website.
Thank you.
Thank you. Since this is about safety, Vice Mayor, what day will school open, and will it open on a partial basis, or what is the plan? Do you know?
I do know part of the plan. It's still in planning. Either if you opted out for your child to be in virtual school, then they're going to be in virtual school. But if you opted out for them to go back, then chances are we're going to open up the school and we're going to figure it out so that everybody stays safe. And I think this school starts back on August 12th. I think, or maybe I go back August 12th. Yeah, I think school starts back like August 12th. And I think that's a Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, or, and I'm sorry, any other announcements? Okay, I'd like to make a couple announcements. One is that, of course, you know, I always talk about census. Please complete the census, please. And also vote. If you need an application for an absentee ballot, you can actually pick up one at Village Hall. They'll print you one off, or you can go to the Board of Elections website and print it off yourself. Please fill it out, turn it in. Okay, thank you for that. The next thing is that they are looking for people to become contact tracers for COVID-19. And if you're interested in that position, and some of them will be from home, or maybe all of them will be from home, that's a telephone thing, call the Board of Health or go on the Board of Health web page and find the information, and you can apply for the position there. So this is a great opportunity for those folks who like to talk on the telephone and they want a part-time position. You can look for that. Also, the Board of Election is looking for folks to become poll workers. If you want to do that, go to the Board of Election. So you have the Health Department and the Board of Elections, and you can go and find jobs. That's all that I have to say. Anyone else aware of the job? All right.
Ms. Chalshid, I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the census, I know at a past meeting, we talked about doing a canvas parade on the census. I just wasn't sure if we had any more talks about it, or do you want us to get at it when we're down in August?
We're going to talk about that. I had to postpone that meeting with Donna because something came up that day, and it was important for her to take care of what was going on with the village. So because she's doing several jobs, that we need to give her time to take care of what it was. So we're going to do it, and I've talked to some people that are who want to be a part of it. So we're going to make it a nice little long parade type event where that you not only can we talk about complete the census, also voting. You know, at all the pantries there should be information disseminated to those that are picking up products. So I have Mr. Daniels involved in that, and Carmen Daniels, and there's another person who actually did voter registration last week. So if you know of someone that want to just pass out materials, let us know. So that's where we are, Mayor. When we have the meeting, we'll let you know. Is that okay?
Thanks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna do this. We gotta do it. Yeah. Any more announcements? Okay, Vice Mayor and Phyllis. Miss
I don't have-
Baby, need an adjournment thing.
I motion for adjournment.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. We are done. Officer Keith. Did I live up to my promise?
You did a great job.
Okay, so we have a break. Next meeting does not start until 6:30 with finance. So we do have a break. Ms. Mitchell, will you be ready at 6:30 or before 6:30? Okay. We're done.
Okay.
Stipend bonus.
Linda, you might want to mute yourself.
I just thought about this as soon as I said something. I'm up here doing a report in my mind. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
Hey, come on. Hasn't started yet. Oh, I just hate. Oh, okay. Hey, hey.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Keith. Keith, I am the co-host for this meeting, the host for this meeting. All right, we will start shortly, I guess, and give a chance for Mr. Daniels to come into the meeting. Well, we'll go ahead and start. Based on my time, it is now 6:33. I'll wait for Miss Goodwin Williams to return. I hope everyone has the, based on the agenda, that you have a June 2020 minutes, and that you have your June finance report in front of you, as well as the other information that Ms. Pope sent, as well as the finance report from last week, because that's where you'll find the action items.
Mitchell, I don't understand what finance something from last week. You mean the minutes from last meeting?
The minutes.
Okay. Okay.
As well as the report.
Does the agenda need to be corrected? Because I have minutes for April 20th. Are we accept? I thought we were doing June 15th minutes.
We are. I mean,
We
We are.
Yeah.
Okay, my agenda just says April
Can you
20th.
double?
Your agenda says April.
Finance Committee, Monday, July 20th, 2020, 6:30 Zoom meeting. Acceptance of previous meeting minutes for April 20th, 2020.
Yeah,
That's number 4.
Ms. Randolph.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was one of the things that one of the things we asked to be corrected earlier. Remember, we said something. Oh, I think you had July on something, but we corrected that.
Right. But the minutes are from June 15th, 2020. So that does need to be corrected. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
All right, Ms. Goodwin is back. The Finance Committee meeting of the Village of Lincoln Heights for July 20th is now called to order. Ms. Randolph.
Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Present.
Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson.
Present.
Vice Mayor, thank you. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter.
Present.
Council Durance Daniels. He's not present at this time. And Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Present.
We have 4 who are present, 1 who is absent. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the mercy, blessing, and grace that you have given us. Lord, we come before you tonight to ask you to allow us to speak of what we know and not of what we don't. To allow us to seek the truth to and for our residents, Heavenly Father. We ask that you allow us to do the best that we can for the village and all that we are sworn to do. And this we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
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 All right. Is there a motion to accept the minute? Oh, well, let me get a motion to correct the agenda to state minutes for June 15th, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Then properly moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to accept the minutes for June 15th, 2020?
Go ahead.
I move to accept the minutes of June 2020 with any corrections.
Second.
Been properly moved and second to accept the minutes with any corrections. Any questions? Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. So you should have the June minutes in front of you, hopefully. I'm going to go through and get an update from those particular things. So Ms. Pope, on page 2, we talked about the COVID expenditures. Did you find out how to seek the reimbursement?
Oh, here I am. I thought I was on mute. Yes, we received, are you asking me what are we gonna, which ones are we charging to the COVID-19 funding?
Well, the amount that you have is 12,675, and then you said about 6,600 was what certain supplies are, but the question was that you hadn't gotten the information on how we get reimbursed.
Okay, so the COVID-19 reimbursements are going to be expensed through the CARES Act funding that we just received, the $152,000. So that funding is going to be set up just like our other accounts where we would have salaries, contract services, supplies, and capital. It'll just be charged to the CARES Act fund, which is now 326.
Okay, so that 12,000 plus will be charged to the 152.
Yes, and it'll be charged to the appropriate areas like the capital items, as far as the computers, any of the supplies that we received, salaries, because the employees, when we did the special cleanup, that day's salary will be charged to the CARES Act. And then also that expense of cleaning up will be charged to 5230. So I broke it down just like our regular accounts. It's just the fund is 326, so we can track it.
All right, thank you.
I have a question concerning that, Ms. Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, is it 152 in addition to the 12,000, Ms. Pope?
The 12,000 is just the expenses that we have so far. That's
Okay.
what the amount to. But wait a minute, I'm going somewhere. I don't know where I'm going. I hit a button. But the 152 is what was distributed to us by Hamilton County from the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I thought when we were in that, I only went to one, when we were in that Zoom meeting with that guy that really wasn't for sure. He didn't know everything. I think it might have been the first Zoom meeting with a whole bunch of different people in, that you couldn't use that towards something. You couldn't use towards
You
salary.
can't, if it was already budgeted, salaries are already budgeted, but this expense of cleaning the building was not budgeted. We didn't know we was going to be under this pandemic. So that money for that day's salary can be charged to that.
But the question, Ms. Pope, is the 12,000 separate, or is the 12,000 going to come out of that 152? Is that right, Vice Mayor? Is that what?
That's what I'm asking.
It's the 12,000 is all it totals 12,000 of all the different things that we have purchased so far. So that 12,000 is going to be expensed through the 152. Yes.
Okay, and we have to spend that whole 152, or we have to send it back at a certain time if we don't spend it all?
By 12/31, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so on page 4, I was looking through the report. I did not see where the ODNR money was corrected. maybe I looked on the wrong page. I looked on page 4, revenue by fund. And so the exact amount is $79,812. Are we going to correct that, or how will that be corrected?
That's going to be corrected through resolution when we do the transfers for the year, not transfers, but when we do the expense adjustments for June. We usually do them in July. So we'll have resolution to increase that amount. And so it totals to 79,000. So we'll include that on when we're making the budget adjustments, expense adjustments.
Okay, so you said it's going to include the 79,000. So that 79,812 includes our 22.
Yes.
Okay. I'm also on that same page. We talked about the Top Wings leasing the building because there were some issues about who they are, so forth and so on. So they should be contacting us, or how aggressive are we being? Because they can't go in there unless they have an occupancy permit, correct?
Yes.
So where are we with them coming in or knowing who they are and the proprietor? Because there's been a couple of concerns about, number one, the way the grass is cut over there and some possible dumping.
Okay, so my understanding is that that building is actually being leased by Tip Top Wings. And then Ms. Peterson, she sent out information, and we're still waiting to receive that information from the building owner.
From the owner?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to, if they continue to have dumping or that grass is cut like it is or stays high, then we still need to send something to that owner saying you are in violation, and let them send that on if they're not readily responding to our request to know who the owner, who the leaser is going to be. So.
Okay.
On page 5, we talked about the catch basins and the cost of being $2,000 each. So can we get a list of those catch basins, the streets where they've been done, and maybe a schedule or an approximate amount of what we look at doing for the rest of them for the rest of the year? I mean, do we have funds to do how many more? That's what we need to know. Are we looking at doing X amount before the year is over or before the winter comes?
Okay, I'll have to refer that question to Mr. Willis, because I know, well, I don't even know if he came back, but he and Mr. Dukes were talking about that. And so I haven't question him about if we're gonna do any more.
All right, Ms. Childs Jeter.
Dang, I forgot. Ms. Mitchell, when you turn to a page, would you please refer to the paragraph or the bullet that you're doing? So I won't have to spend all day glancing until I find it. Thank you.
All right, so that was on page 5.
Yeah, I found
Okay.
it.
Thank you. Also on page 5, we talked about the $500, I guess, for the senior event. Do we have something that talks about the final cost and where
are you? Where are you?
On 5, where it says the first orange bullet.
Okay.
Still on page 5. I know Ms. Baber stated that we did not get the Kente clause. So that would have reduced the $500 amount, and did we disperse all of the t-shirts?
Okay, as far as the expense part of that, Miss Baber was reimbursed. The guy that we received the t-shirts from, he was paid. So it was around $200 and something, and Miss Baber was reimbursed for $175. And no, we did not order the kente cloths. So it turned out to be more or less like $350 opposed to $500. And Miss
Okay,
Baber has the t-shirts.
Okay, so it was less than the $399.67 that was reported in the report on page 5. So it was less than that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Baber, did you give out all the t-shirts?
No, I haven't at this time. I'm still looking for seniors. I have a high school student working on that for me so that I can maybe gather them and pass out the t-shirts.
Okay, perhaps we can do an all call to say any 2020 senior has a t-shirt coming to them, please come to the village or something so that we can go ahead and get that out of our inventory.
Yes, but like I said, I am working on it, and I do have a youth gathering them together, and maybe it'll happen this time.
All righty, thank you.
Miss Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Baber, are you going to bring the t-shirts down to the building?
No, I'm going to gather the youth and pass them out to them.
I think we would probably want them to come down to the building. That way we would have, that way we would have more control.
Who am I talking to?
This is Donna. This is Donna.
Oh.
So we would have.
I don't know who I was talking to.
Yeah, so we can know that they're there, and we can pass them out.
At least let me try to get rid of them first, and then whatever's left, if any, I'll bring down to the village.
How many is it?
It's a total of 24.
So how many are left?
I have a total of 24. No, remember the students didn't show up for the parade.
What contact information do
Ms. Jeter?
Ms. Baber, you have to have accountability, and it would be best that you leave them at Village Hall, and that would relieve you of any burden. You can still,
well, it's not a burden.
Miss Baber,
yes.
you can still find the person. They can pick it up from Village Hall, but so that we won't have the issues in the future, please just drop them off. I did put please there.
I heard you, but like I said, I did reach out to this youth to gather these people, and I really want to have a function or something and get with them and give them these t-shirts. I'm not holding them hostage or anything.
You can have that across the street in Serenity Park for distribution, but you do need to give them to the village.
Okay.
I'll
get them as soon as possible.
Thank you, Ms. Baber. So, if you can actually do that before we go on hiatus. So if you get them to Ms. Pope by August, and that would help.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you. So that gives me at least to August 1st to get them out. And if not, I'll have them there by then. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Pope, I'm on page 7, the Pep Grant. So you sent us out the application and everything. What did you apply for?
I haven't applied for the $1,000 as of yet, but we can use as far as we can use receipts from the service department to submit that application. So I'll pull some receipts from the service department as long as it's safety items.
Such as, what do you think? Like, do we have enough cones?
It would be something like cones, even their shoes, their t-shirts. So anything like that, anything they've ordered, I can just submit that application for that.
And when is that deadline?
There's about 1231.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
to Miss Donna, is there any of these grants that we can get bullhorn, more than one for the village?
I don't know. I'll have to check into that.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we going over the stuff from the minutes still? Because I had some questions too.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think one of them you had already answered, but I know in the minutes it said something about I needed to motion that we do the hand sanitizers and water stations, but I
Yes,
don't see
ma'am.
where I motioned that in the minutes.
Okay,
And
you didn't, but she does address it in one of the other documents that we're gonna go over, the one that she sent in the email.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have the printout from the email. Okay, and because it was another motion too for us to motion for the to accept, I guess, the mini grant, the $20,000, and I didn't see a motion for that.
I don't think that was in, for here, that might have been something that, you're talking about of the 40,000, that's on the next page.
Yeah, I was just asking my
Oh, okay,
questions that I
yeah.
had from there.
Yeah, we getting there.
All right, okay.
Ms. Pope, the next thing is we're still on page 7, the last bullet under HIP. So we have that $15,000. Where are we with that? How many have we done? Again, I keep asking that we do something to invite people down to understand how to fill it out so that we can get that money out to people and get our properties improved. So how many have we had and when is the deadline to expend all the money?
On the housing project or
The home improvement.
home improvement. I have to. The grants run. That 30,000 was for this year, so the 15,000 should be expensed within this year. But we only received, I want to say, less than 10 applications, and the majority of those were filled out incorrectly. So like you said, we'll have to do a meet. I don't know what kind of meeting we'll have to do. Maybe we can do something in Serenity Park because we can't really have the residents in the building like that. And
well,
can
you do it like you do the court and just have so many at a time and schedule them to come and still do social distancing? People need to call, sign up to come down.
That's a good suggestion.
You know what I'm saying?
We can try something like that.
My concern is that, do we have to have the money expended by the end of the year, or at least the applications in and assign the money allocated to individuals? And when do they have to have it completed? Do they have to have their work completed by the end of the year to be reimbursed? You know what I'm saying? Can we play around with that?
I'll have to confirm that the exact details. I know it's within this year, so I'm going to assume that they need to have it done within this year's, but I can't say exactly if that money will carry over into 2021. So I have to check those fine details on that.
Madam Chair.
Wait a minute, Mayor, Ms. Jeter had her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your
Oh, no,
hand.
I didn't. I'm hot. I'm good.
Use the fan. Go ahead, Mayor.
No, I just wanted to make a suggestion. I do remember that last year when we did have another code enforcer, when they first started talking about rolling it out, we were talking about approaching some of those homeowners that had code enforcement at that time, maybe reaching out to them and seeing if they would want to apply. I just don't want to miss some of the residents that fell in that during last year when we were doing code enforcement, when we had Carrie. So I just wanted a suggestion that we look back and see who had some issues when she was here, and maybe reaching out to see if they would like to participate in the housing program.
That's a good idea, Mayor. I'm just saying, we kind of short on help. So is that a phone call once we get the number? And how do we know that? I mean, do we walk up with those individuals who have code violations?
Well,
we do have the
Miss-
owner. You know what I'm saying?
We have
owner,
Miss Pope. She's the interim village manager, and maybe she could direct her staff to reach out to them. I want to stay in my lane, but maybe, Miss Pope may have some suggestions.
Not interim. Don't put that out there.
Assistant.
Let's just stick with the assistant. But
Okay.
yes, I can probably just go back and look into her file log to some of the reports that we submitted on the addresses that she was working on. Just pull that log and just see if any of those code enforcement violators would want to submit an application, and then do a robocall. And, as Ms. Mitchell suggested, maybe having, some 6-person meetings.
Okay, I'm sorry, I meant assistant. I'm gonna fix that. I'm sorry.
Vice Mayor.
Did we send some down there and they were filled out incorrect?
Yes. Yeah,
So
we'll go
we
back
didn't,
to the,
because
we'll
I
go
don't want
back
to
to
send
the-
anything down there if they're gonna send it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we did. We sent some down, and they were telling us that they were filled out incorrectly, didn't have the proper documentation. Some of them need some additional forms. So we're going to go back to that group that originally sent
Okay.
applications. We'll try them first, because if it's 10 of them and we're giving them $1,000, up to $1,000, or up to $1,500, that could be the majority of that 15,000. So.
Thank you. All right, on page 8, at the top of the page. So we got $20,000. The funding has not been received yet. Do you know when that will come in? Did they say?
The mini grant for the planning, we were awarded that, but no, I haven't received any documentation that says how it's going to be distributed.
All right, so, okay, so I read over it. I think that, we have a lot. We got a lot of money out there, 200,000, almost 80,000, and another 20,000. I mean, that's $300,000. And it's almost like we have a year to spend 100. And maybe at the end of this year, that 200 may go away. So we really need to be trying to, I would like to see the village contact Hamilton County so that we understand what we need to do. We don't need to lose any money. And so if there's a chance that we need to redirect, rewrite, whatever we need to do for that 200,000 that we got last year, that I think was supposed to be expended by April or August of this year, we have to get moving. We really need to, really check into that. So I just want to put that out there, Ms. Pope. And do we have, we won't get the new fund number until we receive the money, the legislation for it? Or can you set up the legislation? Because what if the money comes in August, we won't be here. Can you set it up before it comes for next week?
For the mini planning grant? Yes, we can set that up. We can set that up before August.
Okay, so you'll have Mr. Desai do that for us for Monday?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All righty. Let's move on to the action items. Ms. Pope sent us in an email today answers to some of these action items. She responded to some of the action items as well as giving us some additional information. So let's start with the.
Did we all receive that email?
Yes, you received it actually last night,
Yeah, Sunday.
about 11:30.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Okay. Well, I can't pull it up, so.
Okay, so as we asked her, the action item was to provide activities and events for the Census Rapid Response Grant. And she stated that the price quotes have been received on the kiosk. Do you know how much they were? How much they cost?
For the stand itself and the tablet, it was 3,500. I have to pull off my email to see the exact amount. But it was close to 3,500.
Okay, and how many are we getting?
Just one.
Okay. You want to explain what the access points to be installed on July 21st? What do you mean access points?
So the access points will increase our Wi-Fi capabilities in certain areas of the building. You can't get on to, you can't get out to the internet. So those points will be installed by PowerNet. They're supposed to come out tomorrow. And it's just gonna give us a stronger Wi-Fi presence for when the, people are filling out the 2020 census application.
And so
they'll be able to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Once this is over, we still have to pay PowerNet. We're gonna have additional charge for PowerNet later.
No, the access points come at a price tag of $3,000, and that's the cost of the equipment and everything. Now we do still have a monthly bill with PowerNet.
That's what I'm saying. Will it increase because of this additional access points?
It'll be part of our regular service, monthly service fee.
Okay, but it won't increase. The fee won't increase.
No, the fee won't increase because
but
we paying for it out.
We're using the census money to get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pope, so when you say expanding, will it reach over to the park?
That I can't say until they come out tomorrow.
Okay,
And
can you ask that question for me?
Yes.
Because that would be a nice feature to have.
All righty. The next, anything else on the census grant? Ms. G, do you have anything you want to say about it?
No,
Okay.
not at this time. I'm good.
Okay, so we talked about the legislation to set up the fund for the mini grant. We'll have that on Monday. We'll have legislation for that. So if that money comes in before we come back, we can take care of it. The written budget and ad requisition forms for the senior graduation event. We know that that is less than what was originally reported. And the Black Diamond, that's what you asked to take off, Ms. Baber? Is that where you were getting the Kente cloths from? I remember you saying something like that last.
That was Mr. Daniels, I believe. He's on.
Yeah, Mr. Daniels was supposed to order and he did not.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pope, on Fund 217, all right, that's on page 6 of the finance report. Remember, we want to change that to make it say Community Development Block Grant and not, I think you have it Community Development Corporation.
Okay,
Okay, make sure that that's changed so we are reporting where our funds are coming from. Okay, and the last one, number 7, you did report that we're going to make that change, that transfer or whatever. You said July, or do you mean September? Are you going to do it? Is that something we have to approve, or you just automatically do it?
no, that's gonna need a resolution.
Okay, so are you going to have that Monday, or are we going to see that in September?
Monday.
Okay. Okay, on the other email, that she sent us, you want to talk about the price quotes requested for park equipment and explain park equipment.
Okay, so the price quotes that we were requesting for park equipment is also one of the CDBG grant funding. And the price quote would be for 2 benches, 2 receptacles, and 1 table to go into Serenity Park. And if you guys recall, there was additional $20,000 available for park equipment. So park equipment and plus the gazebo and the basketball. So we were ordering the benches and the not sanitizers, but the receptacles and the table through the balance of that $20,000.
So does that come to 20,000, or do we have something left?
It may be just shy of 20,000. I think the gazebo was 65. The park, the basketball was 49, or I may have them mixed. It might be the opposite.
Okay.
And so we have the balance left over for the park equipment. Now the park equipment has to be commercial grade. So we had to find a company that would install it for us also.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Vice Mayor, you don't have it, right? You don't have this right here, but that's where your hand sanitizers come in. Donna, you want to explain that in terms of that's going to be paid out of 152,000, and do we know where we're going to, how many you ordered? You said they're on back order. And
so I asked Miss Middleton to get a price and a quote for about 8. There was different sides of whether we should get those, whether they were going to be sustainable once we did receive them, because after this money is gone, of course, we can order and pay for it out of the 152, but then, you know, annually, how much would it cost for the refills? So we were thinking about maybe 8 stations, or 2 at Memorial Park, and then 1 at Serenity, 1 at the basketball court, and then different locations without, probably closer to a more widely used, one of the more widely used bus stops up in the apartments between Centennials and Mangum, somewhere in there. Of course, somewhere along Leggett Avenue. We were thinking maybe at Adams, but then we were thinking maybe the kids would just tear it up. So we didn't know, but so we settled on about 8, and sparingly, you know, throughout the village. The foam was, Jamal, if you could jump in, I know I've seen him somewhere.
Yeah, he's on
the foam was 50. The refill for the foam, if it was foam, it was 50, and the gel was 24. And so, Jamal, do I have that right, or what is it opposite?
You're right. The foam gonna be more. when you use the gel and it gets hot, it'll bust. So we're gonna have to use foam because if it's too hot, the gel is gonna explode. Like if you let it sit in the heat too long, the gel will explode. The foam will withstand the temperatures. It's like you leave like a bottle of hand sanitizer in your car over, if it get too hot, you actually see it start to bust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the foam would be better for this situation. And we probably won't have to refill it as much.
So we're going to order as much as we possibly can of that, and so that out of this 152, because we just got to remember that that's upkeep, and we have to make sure we put it in for the budget for 2021. So is there a cost for the, I don't know, for the stand? Not the machine, but how much does the stand cost, the support piece?
Those were 350 a piece. So 350 times 8.
That's 2,800.
Yeah, and then if we get the foam, that's $400, and then if we're gonna order extra because we won't have this money available to us after
right. So we need
12/31. So we're looking at maybe $400 to $800 annually to keep those refilled. And that,
as we stand right now, Ms. Pope, the expenses that we have that you all estimate to have, we're not close to $152,000, are we?
No.
Okay, so we know how to order. All right, no problem.
Right.
Any questions?
So, but those were on back order, Ms. Stinson. Those were on back order because everybody's ordering them. They were on back order to about October, November.
Okay, but as long as we order enough, and whenever they come, and we want to just have enough so that we don't have to eat into our budget for.
Who did we order them through?
I'll have to look at the email. Can I look at my email while? I'll have to check and see.
Chair, I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just sitting here thinking about, so Ms. Pope, are they sustainable when it comes to winter? Will we have to put them up and then bring them back out when it gets cold?
So we're always looking at commercial grade where we can mount them down to the ground. So that would be,
but you'll be able to lift off the unit, right? To take it in? Okay.
Yeah, but we were ordering stationary units. Ms. Stinson, I'll have to look for that and let you know who we.
You don't have to do it right now, Ms.
Wait a minute. I think I got it. Nope, I don't have the name. Okay. Yes, I'll look up that company and get back with you on that.
Thank you. On the street signs, so is the stop sign and the pole, a stop sign and pole? Is $7,000, or you need to tell us how many that is? Not one is 7,000, but how many stop signs and poles is $7,000?
Mr. Willis.
I'm back. You hear me?
Yes.
A bundle of 50 poles is $1,000 alone. And the stop signs are like $36 a piece. And the more you order, the unit costs go down like $2 or $3. So I think I counted I think it was like 250 stop signs.
We have 250 stop signs in the village.
If you do 4, I have to wrote down somewhere that number, but I know it's well over 150.
Okay, so, but all our stop signs don't need to be replaced. I know that we would have extras, right? All of them need to come down, and so, when we talk about the street signs, so we got street signs in the back of the building that are still on poles. So we can't use those same street signs So if you take down a pole because it's bent, you can't undo the street sign?
Well,
And
the
put it
ones
on
that
the
the
new pole?
majority of them are they're damaged or they're either bent, and I don't want to put up no really bent sign. It's just not going to look right.
The
The
sign
the
is
sign,
bent or the pole is bent?
a few of them is when the pole get hit, when the sign hits the ground, it bends it real bad. And I mean, I just don't want to put up no bent sign because it's just, I can't really bend it back because it's just gonna look, it's gonna start peeling away the lettering if I try to bend it back.
Okay. And so can we recycle those to Hirschberg and get some money?
I'm sure you can.
Oh, okay. All right, so those things that are in the back, we can expect some revenue from them by the time we come back in September. Okay. Ms. Pope, the road repairs, you're gonna start requesting bids. Now, how much money do we have for road repairs? I mean, how much are you looking to spend?
Okay, so I asked Mr. Willis to get me price quotes for Douglas because between Lindy and Bird, it's a horrible, horrible mess. And then we were also talking about, of course, Adams to Prairie, but we were also, I asked him to get quotes on sections. So maybe we can't afford to do the whole strip at $100,000 plus, then maybe we can just do from Adams to Van Buren. You know,
where will we pull that 100,000 from?
It's going to be out of infrastructure.
We haven't spent any on infrastructure already this year?
Yes, we've, infrastructure has some expenses, yes. Okay. But we haven't had any major road repairs from using the infrastructure money. So
when we try to do potholes, do we use infrastructure money or we use that money from somewhere else?
You can use the infrastructure, but it's been coming out of the service department supply account.
Oh, okay. So that means we can get some more potholes done. Okay. Okay. You have on here code enforcement. Mr. Willis, Mr. Willis is going to report on that. I mean, now, or my question for that is, we pay $30,000 or at least 15 of that 30, I think, for code enforcement. And my question becomes, they want to see, I'm sure, a return. You know, they want to see the benefit of giving us that money for that purpose. What are we showing that to say, you know, that $15,000 has made an improvement in, or that $15,000 netted us X amount of revenue from code violations fees? I mean, what are we doing? I mean, how are we spending that?
So since Mr. Perry was assigned the position of code enforcement and Mr. Dukes is not here to complete his training process, and instead of, you know, it just not being done, it was assigned to Mr. Willis so he can, since he knows the area, he knows the codes and everything like that, so he can just fill in until Mr. Dukes gets back and we figure out, or he figures out, Mr. Dukes, who's going to do what as far as code enforcement. Yes, with this gap in between Mr. Perry and Mr. Willis, we do need to pick that back up because we do need to submit our daily log, our monthly log on what are we doing with that $15,000 that we've been allowed to use for code enforcement. So right now we're just trying to pick that back up. I did order the stickers that are a part of Mr. Duke's 8-step process. We have those on order. Hopefully we will be receiving them this week or next week. And then Mr. Willis can have some additional materials that he can use he can start issuing these code enforcement violations.
Okay, well, before you even issue the violation, you issue a warning. So we were told that Tuesday and Thursday was going to be the day that code enforcement is going to happen. So will Mr. Willis can we begin to formulate a list of those areas, those houses that are in violation?
Yes, that's what he's working on now. Mr. Willis, you can jump in here.
All right. I just came afloat last Tuesday with that. So I have a list of stuff that I'm gathering. So I can start, moving forward with this process. But I just took it over last week. So I got my templates for my letters.
Mr. Willis, can you speak up a little bit?
My bad. I said I just took over the role last week after talking with Ms. Pope. So Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the day. So basically that whole day to be devoted to my code enforcement issues and anything that's dealing with code enforcement. So I've been just riding out. Tuesday I was just all in the office, just making sure my templates and cover letters and everything is in shape. So when I issue the violations, I don't have to. Everything is in the flow with Mr. Duke's 8-step process. So there was a couple different, some confusion, but I'm not gonna go more in depth to that. But just Tuesdays and Thursdays, that'll be my day for code. So.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Yes, I spoke with Mr. Desai today, and he said he would be willing to draft the letter for any areas that he said that Mr. Willis said something about a template. Well, Mr. Desai told me today that he would work with you, Jamal, on a basic letter for like junk cars and one for grass or weeds or just something basic that that you could use. He said if you gave him a call that he would be willing to draft that. So
is that like a warning?
Whatever letter or template, whatever needs to be sent out to somebody, he said he could do that. He told me that today.
Okay.
But we do have a template already. We just have to update it and include the new names on there, which currently is going to be Jamal Willis as the code enforcer. So we do have samples of templates, and they may have come from Mr. Desai in the past, but we do have that file where we can insert the new information, the code violation, the number. So we do have that.
Does it have to have a name on it? Can it just be something general?
Yeah, that's what we have. We have a template that the body of it is going to include, of course, the violation and the code. And so we can just, include, of course, the owner and all of that.
Donna, could you send that to Mr. Desai just to have him look at it to make sure it has the language in it that we really need, just to double check?
I email you that in the morning, Donna, what I showed you last week, and you can forward it to him. I don't know his email address off the top of my head.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Mayor.
So along with that, I know several months ago we talked about the billing process. Have they decided what the billing process is going to look like when they start billing them back into Mayor's Court? The fee structure, Ms. Pope?
Mr. Willis was also working on that. I think he found back in the files. The files is right now are a guidance of how this was done and then also what we need to do to update it. So there was a fee structure there.
All right, thank you.
So Mayor, are you you want to know, number one, we do have a fee structure, and are you going to look to see if that fee structure needs to be raised but there is a fee structure, and if there's a change, that comes before council for a change.
What I can do is for Monday's meeting, I'll get this week, since I'm no longer I'm off from H&R Block for a couple of months, I can get with the clerk of court and see what the fees, what they look like back then, and I'll be glad to share that with council Monday at committee of the whole.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move on. Are there any other questions about the action items or the minutes review? Ms. Pope, you have anything to add to what you sent out to us?
Oh, yes, I do. I received an email today that OPWC has
Open back up?
And Matthew and Taylor has now been reapproved. So Matthews and Taylor will be on the list of street projects that we're gonna have going into 2021.
And you know how much that's gonna cost us?
No, I don't, but I can get that to you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Ms. Pope, the finance report.
Does everybody have a copy of the finance report? Or do we need to figure out how I can share my screen? Or you can share your screen, Ms. Mitchell. Or I can just read.
Okay, wait a minute. Well, actually,
I have a copy today.
Pull up our email.
Emails.
Yeah.
I have a hard copy today, so I don't have to today.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Pope.
Okay, so for June 30th, 2020, our fund reconciliation, our actual cash bank balance for June 30th, 2020 was $1,007,418.57. The outstanding check report. I put on here there was only one check on the regular check report because we did a separate issue of refund checks. So the refund checks, we did them on the 30th of June. So of course, those have not cleared. But it's only one check on here from the June vouchers that were issued. Is for $175. And Ms. Baber, that is your check. So please deposit your check for $175 so we can get that off of the June, our outstanding report. Our revenue by fund account, our total revenues for this year, so far this year is $1,487,458. That does show an increase from June 2019 of actual receipts of $1,329,977. Now, the increase, of course, is due to that $152,000 that we got from the CARES Act.
So let's not get excited, huh?
Yeah, so yeah, because if you take that away, you know,
we kind
of it's almost like the same. Our month-to-date revenue report, receipts received was $281,890. When we move on down to expenditures by fund for June 30th, expenses of $1,336,375 shows a 13% decrease in spending when compared to June 30th of 2019 of $1,500,000 $529,973. I'm going slow so I can make sure that Miss Lisa gets my numbers. She always rattle them off. So
And
Thank
what do
you.
you attribute that $200,000 decrease to? What couple of things?
the couple of things that stick out to me was last year, of course, we had those trees that were paid for, the tree storm that we had, and it was paid for in 2019. It happened at the end of 2018, but the receipt was against the 2019. I mean, it was charged in 2019. I'll have to look at the details to see what else.
That's good
I
enough.
just
I
know
mean,
the expenses all around the board, we've been very conservative, and so we haven't had no wasteful spending. The month-to-date detail report will show a decrease in spending of 32%. In 2020, $258,975. That's just for the month of June. And then in 2019, for the month of June, we spent $381,664. And so our monthly check register report is the same amount of 2020, the monthly amount, which is $258,975.30. I should have left off that 30 cents. The earnings tax report for June shows $40,195, which reflects an 8.9 increase of tax collection for June 19 of $36,909.
So, Ms. Pope, what would you attribute that to? Early on, we were talking about COVID and how it had perhaps, because I know we didn't do the survey, impacted the businesses, but yet aren't we getting an increase from last year? So does that mean nobody was furloughed, or maybe they had some?
I believe it in the village of Lincoln Heights. I think it does attribute to us being small, and we must have the businesses that we have must be considered essential, because the withholding collections shows that we right on pace for what we need to be collecting for this year.
Okay.
So our residential collections was $4,901. Our business collection for June was $4,013. And our withholding collections was $31,281. When you go down to page 2, our fund reconciliation report. I'm sorry if anyone had any questions on the narrative. So our fund reconciliation report will show the beginning balance in our general ledger of $975,113.33. Deposits total $280,148.75. And our withdrawals, our payments made, $247,843.49 for the ending balance of $1,007,418.59. Now, under our outstanding checks, this 6970.41 was the one that I said, the only one that didn't clear, or one of the ones that didn't clear, was for $175. The rest of that is the $6,970 minus the $175 is refunds that we issued for the month of June. If you go down to the bottom of the page, this is our fund balances report. And towards the end of the column, you will see where our the fund numbers. You'll see the 326 is the fourth one from the bottom. That's the new HB 481 CARES Act, and that's local distribution, because that came from Hamilton County, from the state to Hamilton County to us. And it was for $152,774.18. And that's the amount that we have to spend by 12/31/20, or we have to send the remaining balance back to them. So all of the bills that we can expense out through that, we're gonna try.
So Ms. Pope, would you guesstimate that many of the communities will probably not expend all of what they've been awarded?
Right, there was a list. There's a list that everybody got a different amount based on this
the formula.
And so I don't know. Some communities may not have, the bigger communities may not have a problem with expensing out or using these funds. The smaller ones like us, I think we're going to have a problem, because if it was already budgeted for, we can't use it. So we have to use things that are specific to the pandemic. So.
Okay, so for instance, if we have, for some reason, again, we need to do a cleaning. That was like the cleaning that we did. That was not planned for. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now, if because we have people coming in the building, you know, a lot of places you go, soon somebody walk out, like, you know what I'm saying, right after court, somebody come in and they clean, right? So if you were to hire somebody to do that particularly on those 2 days, that's something that we could charge for, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. I'm looking at my screen, so I can't see us right now. I know you guys can see me, but I'm looking at my screen, so it's taken up. I can't see if anybody has any questions.
No one has any questions right now.
Okay, the last information down there is the Greater Cincinnati Waterworks, and that is their fees. What they did for this month is they sent in 2 payments to catch up. So it would be, what is this, June? So it would be April and May's water bill. They sent April's at the beginning of the month, and they sent May's at the end of the month. So we're all caught up as far as the revenue for Greater Cincinnati Waterworks. So on the next page, page 3, is our outstanding check report. And all of these checks from 49113 all the way down are refund checks. And on the special check register report, when we get to that, it'll have the names in there. Our revenue by fund on page 4. Again, you'll see towards the middle of the page, the 216 fund, that's a new one. That's our 2020 Rapid Refund Grant Fund. So that's $10,000. You'll see going on down to 326, that's HB 481. That's 152,000. So you'll see at the bottom of the page where In 19, we had revenues at this point of $1,329,997, and we have revenue for June of this year, $1,487,458, and that is mostly the 10,000 and the 152.
Ms. Polk, go back up to make sure you circle 217. Put S2.
Okay,
on there.
yeah, I wrote it down on my pad, so I can change
Thank
that.
you.
So I can change that.
Madam Chair, can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
Okay, now I see where I was thinking about with the $12,000 and $152,000. The rapid refund grant, that was the first set of grant money that we got for COVID reimbursement, correct?
No,
Census.
no,
Census.
that's the
Rapid
census.
refund, okay, all right, thank you. Whew.
No. The 12,000 was, I gave you guys a Excel spreadsheet one day in one of the meetings, and it had what we had purchased so far and what we're going to charge to this 326. What I'll have to do is do an expense adjustment, because of course we've already paid for the items. So I'll have to do an expense adjustment charging that $12,000 to this 152,000. Okay, if you look on page number 5, I wanted to point out, number 1, the earnings tax was 40,130. That's lower than our estimated of 53,000 a month. I think that's what we did. We was hoping we could get 53,000 a month in estimated taxes, but I think that number will be higher when I give you guys July's report, since we get a better look at that number. You'll see the Greater Cincinnati Waterworks in the middle of the page, account number 101,000,4403, the $32,190. That's the amount that we received. They caught themselves up because we received April's payments and May payments.
Ms. Polk, on that same page. Business license, 4,200. Here we are we halfway through the year, and all we've gotten is $100. Is that saying one business has paid their business license?
No, that's just for the month. It's just for the month.
Okay, so
the total amount that we received is go on over to the 4,400. That's what we received.
Okay.
And we estimated 3,000, so we're actually over, and that's because she's been asking and receiving some 2019 and 2020 business license.
Okay, so we can't really tell. I mean, somewhere you need to break down for us how much was delinquent
for this year.
For this year.
Okay. This under 101,000,4604, sale of fixed assets, that $9,439. That is for the car that was demolished, the sheriff's police car. It was totaled out, so that's the amount that they sent us.
And so we have to get a new one?
That would be in our September discussions when we start talking about budget. I don't think we was going to get one this year.
Thank you. That's all I want to know. Go ahead.
Okay, and the next one down is the water district fees. That is Southwest Water, and they sent 25,000 their quarterly payment this year, or for the quarter anyway.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pope,
Yes.
I did review the contract from 2002. It is coming to an end. We need to have a discussion about that. The language and the verbiage in that contract expresses perpetuity. That's unacceptable. So, I mean, it's my opinion that I would rather forego what they pay us annually and fight them on the language and the terms of this contract. It's unfair. It's not fair to the village, and whoever negotiated this contract, it's obvious that the business sense was not there. The contract is totally unfair and to Southwest Water's advantage.
Yes.
So we really need to consider that. I would much rather forego what they pay us annually, because that's a drop in the bucket. And I've said before, that's probably what they should be paying us monthly. So need to have somebody look at that, our attorney or a third party or somebody, because it's just unacceptable.
Okay.
You done with that
Okay.
page, Ms. Pope?
Yes, we are. We are actually done with that page. On page 6, it starts our expenditures. And what stands out right here is in the middle of the page, yeah, the police fund. You'll see how it has actuals of $530,999 in comparison to 2019, which was $299,639. So of course, that's with the increase in their monthly payments, and also some payments from 19 being paid in 20. So
You're saying that's what the actual is because they didn't bill us and we had to pay it this year.
yes. Okay, on page 6, or I'm sorry, on page 7, we just go through our details of where all the charges were from. These, anywhere, if you do see a negative, all of these will be adjusted in expense adjust. And then also if we need to ask for increases in any funds, we know we were going to need an increase in actually the police department, for the sheriff's contract, because they billed us on an estimate when the actual amount came in. It was higher. And like I said before, our spending has been very conservative. So we'll just have to see where we need to make any adjustments. There's not many that I'm looking at scrolling through the page, except for on page 8.
Wait a minute, Donna. Vice Mayor, you have a question on 7?
Yeah, I wanted to know how much more. How much more? I think we were talking, the sheriff, you said it's higher.
The sheriff's department contract was a difference of $35,000.
Year to date, or just for the whole entire year? That's how much
For
it's
the
gonna be.
whole entire year, we estimated 750,000, and the billing is for 800, and I want to say 10. So it was about $35,000 different. So we know we're gonna have to increase that.
Did we do something extra, or are we just under budgeted?
We under budgeted based on their estimate, because what they say is we're we're estimating that this is how much your contract is going to be. But by the time they finish their negotiating, it was higher than what we signed off on. So, but there's a fine line there because they tell us that this amount is based on an estimate. So,
Madam Chair.
Ma'am.
So Ms. Pope, for 2020, how do we know that their estimation may be even higher than what we're going to budget when we do our budget at the end of the year?
For 2021?
Yeah.
We don't.
So it's kind of hard to say.
Think it would, I would think it would be wise of us just to estimate up if we're going to stay into contract with them. Instead of it being 801, let's say 810 that we estimated for 2021, or we signed off on for 2021, I would say that we just go ahead and put the 840,000 if we're going to remain under this same contract. I know Mr. Dukes was talking to Captain Butler, and they were planning on having a meeting to reduce their contract amount. But we have to wait until until he comes back.
So we just have to pay them whatever they bill us. We don't. What do we match it up with? Because I'm just thinking, if it's the same thing and nothing has changed, why does that dollar amount change every time? And why can't they be consistent? That's not fair. Because people, that's like your employer telling you, I'm gonna give you a paycheck when I feel like cutting you a check.
They have a union.
I agree.
And that's they're negotiating with, like Ms. Mitchell was saying, it's their union. So we can sit down at the table and they give us a price for this amount of staff. Like if they have 124-hour or 112 or 224-hour, 212, they can give us the cost at their current rates of how much it's going to cost us. But then when they go to the table and they start negotiating their salaries, then if that amount changed, then it automatically changes our amount.
So, Ms. Pope, how much is the levy? How much is our levy? All the police levies, how much is that total? It's not 800,000.
No, it's not. The general operating levy supplements.
Right, so we have to take it from both levies. But I think we need to really understand how much our police levies are.
Well, we put in 400,000 for the police levy as far as expenses, and then in the general operating account we have 101 and 21. We have it's like 345. Let me see. I'm trying to find the number right now. 121. Oh, it's 212. 101, 212.
Okay. I mean, my whole thing is that we just have to keep in mind how much our police levy is. That's all.
Okay, so in the general fund, we had 367,385. So the contract that we signed out for this year was $767,385. And it came out that the billing, when I look at the billing amount, it is 810 annually.
Ms. Jeter.
Yes, please keep in mind that the sheriff don't determine the final amount that that we have to pay. It's the union, the prosecutor's office, and the commissioners. Money is distributed through the commissioners, so they get the final sign off on what they are charging us for the services they have out here. So when we talk about the sheriff, they have limited control over that, but the unions for the sheriff have a lot of control over that.
Right, and we don't meet with the unions. We only meet, the whichever.
It is too high for any village.
Right.
We don't have enough money coming in. I think Silverton might want to check see what Silverton did, because they did not sign a contract for a while. And I'm not sure what they're getting now, but need to check.
Well,
Right.
I think we signed 124 and 112. So, but yeah, we need to.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, so I'm curious to find out, like Ms. Childs Jeter says, what Silverton is paying, basically also what we're getting for the services for paying that amount of money. Are we getting the same? I mean, I know it's controlled by the union, but it is worth looking at to see what type of services we're getting. I know we all are asking for more diverse when it comes to the sheriffs, which when they all came, it was more diverse officers that were patrolling through the village. So a conversation does need to happen.
Well, I mean, not necessarily a conversation, but Ms. Pope, I believe that information is public information. You can go on Silverton's site, perhaps, ask for a copy of their, copy of
Well,
their budget.
Yeah, Arlington gave up, and I think Corey had them out there for a minute. So you can see. And as far as the diversity piece, supposedly they're working on.
Okay.
What page were we on? 8. So on page 8, it totals out to monthly amount of expenditures was 258,975. The year-to-date amount is 1,336,375. The unexpended amount is $1,446,851. And our encumbrances are $12,879, which leaves an unencumbered balance of $1,433,971. On page 9 is the first page of our check register report for June. In the middle of the page, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, 134,309. I'm sorry, Lisa, $134,309.79. That is for 2 months. And that does catch us all the way up.
What is Kansas State Bank, 49083?
Kansas State Bank, where are you at on page?
49083.
9.
Yeah, 49.
Kansas State Bank is going to be the backhoe.
Okay.
The backhoe. Yep, it's going to be the backhoe.
Donna, for what do we do with the Ohio Department of Job and Family?
That is every now and then we have a fee.
Child support.
Not child support, but it would be unemployment.
Okay.
Why is unemployment?
Usually we have a credit.
Jobs and Family Services.
Usually we have a credit, but it could be because of this pandemic and more people are on unemployment. I'll have to check into that, but usually we have a credit with them because we don't have that many people that have worked with us that are applying for unemployment.
So, but does unemployment always come through ODJ? For the Job and Family Services?
Yes.
It never came through unemployment or another name?
It could have.
Okay.
I know that's the name that we have it under. So.
That's who controls it now or has ownership of it.
Of the unemployment?
Yes.
As you see on page,
before you move to the next page, what is the Rumpke hydraulics? What's that for? For Rumpke?
No, the hydraulics is for the bins that are up at the Memorial Park.
Removal of them. Up at the field?
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is for, he went out there that had some service done on our truck that got stuck in the air. I'm sorry. That was for, that's a payment.
Oh, okay, had to put a new piece in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. You'll see most of these not unemployment, but refund checks. The M checks are all of our ACH payments. So whenever you see M checks, those are ACH payments. They're on our bank statement.
You have been Duhart Insurance, that's Allstate. That was an amount paid to him? What do we have with Allstate?
Apparently he had issued either some quarterly payments that he ended up paying too much. I don't know. That's a refund.
Yeah, it's a refund. I know what
Yeah.
it's about. You get to those months the way you had less travel.
Right.
Oh, I thought that last year, I believe it was Miss Jeter, we sort of asked that, the refunds, is there a way that you cannot include the name?
That was being given to us. Is that correct?
Yeah, I can.
The
I can.
5708.
That's what we sending them back.
Yes.
You send it back to them? Where?
Yes.
So all those names of individuals that we normally don't see are refunds. Is there a way that can be redacted?
Yeah, I can just take that off where you won't see those names. Yes.
Okay.
I just want to know if we were with Allstate for any of this equipment, because that's the Allstate agency. That's the only thing I wanted to know.
We're actually with USI. So for total, checks issued $258,975.31. And the page 12 is our May and June tax report. I always put 2 months on there so you can just see what we did the previous month and what we did this month. And that would complete my monthly report for June.
Okay.
Again, Ms. Mitchell, I apologize for not having it to you by Wednesday or Thursday, the date we talked about.
All right, just communication, that's all. Just
all right.
Is there a motion to recommend acceptance of the finance report to council?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. I'm
Any
sorry, I
opposed?
was muted. I didn't realize y'all didn't hear me.
All righty. So under new business is Southwestern Ohio Water District. Ms. Stinson or Ms. Williams, did you want to elaborate on that?
No, I think I had asked you to put it on there, but I heard while I was off camera that Kathy addressed how I felt. I felt like we needed to go back to the table and renegotiate. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, so under other.
I have an other.
Okay, one moment, please. So Donna, there's a program out there called CAP, I want to say Consumer Assistance Program, but it might be Customer, with the Metropolitan Sewer District, where seniors can get a percentage off their bill. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so if you could research that and find out what that is and how we can perhaps help them market it to our residents. I'm not sure, I'm sure you have to have a certain age, much like the homestead, but there is a program out there. So if you can find that out for us, and perhaps mention it at the meeting Monday.
Okay.
So
You want information about that program by Monday?
well, just to know what I'm sure all it takes is just call the Metropolitan Sewer District and finding out how we can do that, how we can get that to our residents. And we may not be able to get it all signed up. I'm not sure how it goes, but I know there's a program out there where residents, seniors, that is, seniors can get that money. I mean, if they can send something to us or something like that, that would be advantageous. The other thing is when we did the taxes this year, so, we have the ordinance for information required of landlords is the tax administrator getting that information to make sure that we know how to get all of our tax dollars from those who may be moving in.
I believe she's speaking with Mr. Desai to see how we can officially get that where it's part of our requirements. But
it is. It's an ordinance already.
Okay, well, I'll have to check with her on that.
Okay, so we need to push that so that much like the Hamilton County. I think Hamilton County, if you got rental property, you may have to, register for the amount. But all we're saying is on, I think it's in section 39, that in order for us to make sure that we have all our residents paying taxes, since they no longer do the affidavit thing, we need to make sure we try to make sure, especially, the multi-families moving in and out. Okay. Who's that, Ms. Jeter? Did you have something?
Yes, I want to make a recommendation. I want to recommend that Ms. Donna Pope receive a stipend or bonus, even though she's considered the assistant manager for working full-time for 31 consecutive days up until such time that we get back to regular order of business.
But do you have, you want to put that in writing, or do you have an amount, or you just?
No, I don't have an amount. I'm just putting it out there to see how everybody else feel about it.
I would second that too.
I agree.
All right, restate the motion.
Oh, really? That Ms. Donna Pope receive a stipend or bonus for working full-time for 31 consecutive days.
Second.
You didn't add the second part in there, up until such time.
Oh, up until such time as we return to normal order.
What do you mean by normal order?
When the original village manager is back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
My daughter.
And I have no idea how much money. I don't know what it looks like. You can decide to recommend the council for to pass that, but that was on my mind. She is doing the extra work, even though she is considered the assistant Manager.
Madam Chair.
You have a question on the motion, Ms. Goodwin?
Oh, no, we're still in it.
Yeah. Okay. So been properly moved in second that Ms. Pope receive a stipend or bonus for time consecutively worked for 31 days up until the manager returns.
Yeah, so you can start, I think
Randolph, you want to read that back?
she started that, maybe we need to restate that to June the 6th, 7th, June 6th.
Go ahead, Ms. Randolph.
I need clarification on what the motion is, please.
I need it too, Lisa, so I understand it, you know. You want me to continue, Chair?
Yeah, she needs to know what, because you
Okay.
went back and added a date or something.
I did add a date so we would know from that date on June 6th, Mrs. Pope started to work in that full-time position up until the manager returns to work. So that should be, I'm asking for a bonus. So I can state that whole thing over. We can rescind the other and I can restate it. Okay. So I make a motion to give Mrs. Polk a stipend, a bonus for work for her work she has working full-time since June the 6th up until the time that the manager returns. I guess that makes sense.
A second.
Been properly moved and second. Roll call. Any questions?
I have a question. Can we say until the manager is scheduled to return? Because we know what that date is.
You know the date, but do you know that they're gonna plant their feet on?
But that's my whole point. That's why I'm saying if we put it to that date, regardless, at that point, then we got to come up with something else different anyhow. The whole process starts something different anyhow. So why not just put it up through those? You received your bonus because you did a great job during the time that you needed to step in and take care of that. Just like with any bonus, you get a bonus because, for example, Ms. Mumford, you get a bonus because you continue to be an essential worker up until the extended date of the time that H&R Block really needed you to be there, because you could have had something else scheduled that you had to do. So I think that if you leave the date open, you leave the date open. So I'm suggesting that we put it into the time frame that she is working under that capacity.
Well, once again, Ms. Randolph, I will rescind that motion and Vice Mayor, because I just did this while I was sitting here. So the Vice Mayor can do the motion and then we can get a second. Is that okay, Chair?
Yeah, Ms. Jeter, as you consider that, now there's a difference between stipend and a bonus. A stipend is something that you pay monthly. A bonus is something that you get after something.
I think the word should be bonus.
Miss Mitchell, I thank you for educating me in the business section of that. And you really need to stop that garbage.
You know what? Excuse me, Miss Jeter. You have to say stipend or bonus. You can't get one or the other.
I did say stipend or bonus.
No, what I'm saying, Miss Jeter, is that you need to say that she get a stipend or a bonus. A stipend or a bonus, which one?
But then you defined it, and that's in the business world, and I think you should stop doing.
Well, you know what? This is not just for you, Miss Jeter. There are other people out there listening that may not know, and all I'm saying is, I'm asking you.
I understand
a bonus.
I understand, and you should start your own show with that. Vice Mayor, what did you want to say, dear?
Before, I have a question in
nothing.
Go ahead, Ms. Gordon Williams.
So the bonus would be paid at the end. Is there any way that, I mean, we can leave some of the language vague in terms of leave it stipend or bonus and leave the, and first let Ms. Pope kind of give an amount to where that she thinks, and then maybe if we need to counter, then we can do that, but maybe just leave it open right now with those two pieces.
So when you talk about Ms. Pope doing that, you know, so first you want her to do that openly. How do you want her to do that?
No,
Otherwise,
not,
that basically would be an executive.
no, not right here. She can,
Okay.
you know, submit that.
So that would be something we would discuss in executive session on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yes. Yeah, after she's, you know, gives what she thinks that she should be paid. And if we feel like we need to counter, then, but I would say leave it open. I mean.
So, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're not coming back to September. It would probably make sense if we can turn this into legislation for Monday. I just wanted to see how you all thought about that. Keep it blank, do a
Okay.
first reading. I don't know.
And let Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
unless Ms. Pope feels, you know, comfortable. I mean, I don't know, how do you do that today? Do you feel comfortable saying what you want to be paid? Can we do that? Is that even legal?
That's in public. You're
I
in
wouldn't
public
say
right
it.
now.
I would,
Is she asking for this money, or was this something that Ms. Charles Jeter just fell upon her heart?
I felt it up on my heart.
That's what I thought. So I'm
Did
thinking,
you feel the same
Well,
thing? Did you
yeah,
feel
I felt that in my heart, but I'm thinking, because I wouldn't ask that person, what do you think you get as a bonus? Because
yeah.
if Tom Burton asked me what I think I get as a bonus, I'm gonna crack his head. So
And that's okay. And that's why you come back and count, why we would come back and counter.
I
But
think that
maybe
we
she
should motion for it,
maybe she
leave
can
it
say a
open, and call an
percentage.
executive session on Monday about it.
Yeah.
Okay, but
That's what I think.
then agree and secure it on Monday when we come out of executive, since we're going on
Yes.
break.
I
Or-
think that's what we should discuss it in executive session on Monday. I don't think we should talk about the dollar sign right here,
Yeah.
right now.
No, I was gonna
Right.
say, she didn't have to say a dollar sign. She could say a percentage, and based on what we all know she
That's
earned.
unfair to ask her worth right now.
Nah.
Okay, you're
So I
right.
think
So, Madam Chair, maybe we should vote on it the first part, y'all, when we come back the first
yeah.
meeting in September, then we'll vote on it, and you can always retro it back.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
If you ask me, I could tell you what my
We
work
ain't
is
asked
right
you.
now.
Thank you, Madam
Are you going
Chair.
to rescind your motion, Ms. Jeter?
Do I want to rescind my motion?
Yeah.
She did. I thought she did.
No, we just started. Oh,
did.
you rescinded it twice.
Yeah, I rescinded twice and gave it to the vice mayor. That, you were in between
So
defining.
did the person you seconded, did they rescind?
I
rescind. If I second anything, I rescind it. I'm taking all that back from what Ms. Jeter said.
So with the order of business for Monday is to go into executive session. Are we going in between or at the end of council meeting?
But we don't have any paper, we don't have anything because we still need to remotion, correct?
I don't know.
Am I correct on remotioning, Madam Chair?
I'm still defining stipend and bonus.
It's up to the mayor. It's your meeting.
No,
No,
I
it
mean,
isn't.
you all have already
Oh.
rescinded the motion, but if that's something that you want to do at the council meeting, that's up to the mayor. You
No,
already
what I'm saying
rescinded
is
the motion.
if we motion now, then we can have the paperwork ready for Monday for a first reading. I thought that's what we were gonna do.
So are you putting an amount in? I don't.
No, what we're doing is we're gonna motion. No, this is what we're gonna do. And then if I do it wrong, then you correct me.
Yeah, if I have to.
I'd like to motion that we give Ms. Pope, our assistant village manager, a bonus for serving and going above and beyond for the dates of June
Six.
5th, 2020 till August, that whatever that date is, that our village manager is supposed to be back, which I think August 20th, whatever. Deepak will know that date. I want a motion that she receive a bonus for that time period.
I second.
You had that, Ms. Randolph?
Most of it, but I can also listen back on the Zoom unless Vice Mayor would like to repeat it. She got a motion to
I'm not
give
gonna
Ms.
repeat
Pope
that.
assistant village manager. And then I get a bonus for June 5th up until August 2020.
Yeah, the
I
dates
just
might
got
not
the
be
gist
right,
of
but
it. Yeah.
but yeah.
I think the date is the 6th. It's not the 5th.
I think it's the 6th.
It's the
June
sixth.
For the record, the dates that are on the sheet of paper to say that you left out and that you got to be back. Whatever that paper on the leave says, that time frame, for the record, even if
It's
it's not in the motion, it's on the record. I said those dates.
It's the 6th through the 29th.
August
go.
29th.
Got
Do
it,
we have to do a roll call now?
Randolph?
Okay, it was second by, I'm sorry, can you tell me who was second by?
Linda.
Thank you.
I roll call, Ms. Randolph.
Okay, Vice Mayor Jeannie Stinson,
Yes.
Councilman Durant Daniels. Councilman Daniels, no response.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think
know if
he's in the meeting.
on. Councilwoman Linda Childs Jeter,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phyllis Baber,
Councilwoman Baby's not a part of it.
Yes, Ms. Randolph, Ms. Baber's not on the committee.
oh, okay,
She will vote as
I apologize. Councilwoman Kathy Goodwin Williams.
Yes.
Okay. We have 4?
You didn't call Ms. Mitchell, did you?
Excuse me, Ms. Jeter, I got it.
Sure.
You did not.
I thought
I had the 2 that made 2 of them.
Uh-oh. I apologize, Councilwoman Laverne Mitchell.
Abstain.
You did all that to abstain? Wow.
Yes, ma'am, I did because it's my right.
It is your
If there's
right.
nothing else, there's a motion for adjournment.
I do that one.
There's a second?
Second.
Thank you.
See you, Chair.
Good meeting, Ms. Mitchell.
Good meeting, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, John Boy.
Oh my gosh.